We're on 102.7 WMOM and Hot Country Hits 99.9, as well as streaming on our Facebook pages, WMOM's Facebook page, Hot Country Hits Facebook page, and our YouTube channel as well, as your Amazon Alexa, your Google Home, our West Michigan radio app, and our website. So a lot of opportunity to listen to this segment over the next couple of minutes. Miss Angie joining us, as well as Sheriff Kim Cole with us. And the two of you, I always ask you this when we talk about the family affair at MCC, is that the two of you have been working on this event for how many years now, Miss Angie?
So I have been just shy of the 34 years of working on the event. I actually worked in the event when it was grassroots and starting with some key people in our community: Deb Wright, Shirley Sauty, Chris Warren, Felix Younger, Rick Trier. Some of them have passed away, but their legacy still continues with this family affair event, 34 years in the making, and really with that focus of decreasing child abuse and neglect in our communities.
And really, Sheriff Kim Cole, it is about connecting all of the resources. So there's, I think, 60 plus vendors that are going to be there. And it is from first responders to everything that you can imagine to provide, the resources that the citizens and that you would want people to know and have information on at their fingertips.
Yeah, it's grown so much over the years from when we used to do it at the Ludington High School way back in the day. And Miss Angie runs such a great crew. And I get involved in a lot of things throughout the community and a lot of different boards and committees. And what Miss Angie does and the committee I get to work with, they're absolutely outstanding people. And she puts she doesn't even have to crack the whip on us anymore. But I've been with them for 14 years now as the sheriff, and several years before that when I was working patrol. So it's a great opportunity. Yes. And like you said, there's all kinds of resources for people. If you go away longing for anything tomorrow, that's on you.
Yeah. And we're talking about it today because there is a break in the weather that's coming up. We've been looking at that forecast, and really into Saturday evening or late Saturday afternoon into the evening hours, things will pick up after we get through what we're seeing out there today. That's supposed to kind of trickle down just a little bit towards the afternoon. The winds will still be pretty aggressive, but Miss Angie, that is a window of opportunity, I guess we could say it that way, for people to come out and get that information. We want people to be safe, of course, but we're talking today, encouraging those to come out and visit the event, and they won't go away without missing out, will they?
Absolutely. And what's really nice is when you look at the forecast, our event participants don't start setting up till 4 o'clock today. So the weather's looking good for a 4 o'clock setup for our event participants. And then the event itself tomorrow, Saturday, goes from 10 to 2. So that gives our road commissions time to get out. That gives our on-site people for snow removal. And I just have to give a shout out to Mason County Road Commission, MCC Facilities and Grounds, Jabraki, that we all have a plan in place for having the sidewalks cleared, everything salted and plowed. So really excited to have that glimmer in the winter forecast for the 34th annual Family Affair. Really excited for that.
Well, let's dive into some of the vendors that will be there, some of the information. And then I know I'm going to ask Sheriff Kim Cole, that is there bikes to be given away? Because I know the Sheriff's Department always does some really great giveaways. But Miss Angie, what can we expect when it comes to some of the vendors and information?
Well, I will let the sheriff talk about a little partnership we did this year that is new and special. We always give away Visa gift cards. So we are giving away 3 of those, but the sheriff and Friends of the Sheriff of Mason County did something a little special this year. Sheriff, do you want to talk about that?
Sure. So we have a nonprofit set up through the Sheriff's Office called the Friends of the Mason County Sheriff's Office. This year we've decided to donate 2 camping trips, all the bells and whistles, tents, everything they need, campgrounds provided and all that. So we'll be giving away a couple trips for families to go camping this summer, and plays right into our theme. So yeah, it was a great opportunity. And again, the committee came up with that, and our Friends Fund stepped up, and the committee stepped up to help out. So.
And I have to give just a little extra shout out on top of the generous donation. They not only are getting tents, the 2 packages, they're getting sleeping bags, they're getting coolers, they're getting 2 camping packages to Henry's Landing here in Scottville. So a shout out to Tess and Josh. And then, of course, I wasn't going to send them, or was the sheriff, with an empty cooler. So I stopped at Sanders Meats on my way home last night and bought some gift cards. And a shout out to Dave and Derek Sanders, who said, hey, we're doubling that. So they got 2 gift cards to fill their coolers with anything they might need to grill while they're camping.
That's pretty cool. Sheriff Kim Cole, when you hear that there's so many businesses and so many organizations that step up to give back to the community, what does that mean for you and the organizers, the vendors, and then ultimately as it trickles down to those that attend?
Yeah, our community's always been great. For my 41-year career here has been outstanding, and my 14 years as the sheriff, this community's always stood up and done the right things. And watch tomorrow, the people that come out, watch those who have booths set up, and the businesses that are there. They're always smiling. Everybody smiles. Everybody has a good time. It's a lot of fun, and it's outstanding to be able to live. And I always tell people I get paid to live in a community that people save their money for a year just to come here and hang out with us for a week in the summer. I get to do it.
That's cool.
So
that's cool. I'm sure there's a lot of listeners and viewers that are out there that are excited. And when it comes to let's break it down. Actually, let's talk about the safety and resource side of it, and then let's also talk about that even some of the items that people can take home with them, or different. And I say resources, but you can actually walk away with filling the car in some cases with a lot from an event like this. Take us through that, Miss Angie.
So to have a booth, I always get the question, what does it cost to participate? It doesn't cost anything. The only requirement is that your agency, your business, or whatever has a child interactive activity. So right now we are over 70 booths right now. So you have the potential within those hours to get to all those booths, do an activity, or take an activity kit home, and really making the connections, not just picking up the resources, but possibly making a connection with an agency and going, okay, I now have a name for a resource that can help my family after this event. And that's a lot of the feedback we get from families is, thank you. I made a connection with a real person, their face, their name. And that's our hope every year.
Yeah, absolutely. Sheriff Cole, I think it was a conversation that maybe you and I had, or with one of your officers a few years back, and it really stuck with me. On an event like this, when you have families come out, and especially the kiddos, that they're out there, this is a good opportunity in a very fun environment to get to know those local first responders and law enforcement in preparation, or in we hope the day that doesn't come, of course, but if that does, where they have to interact with them on if there's a fire, or if there's some sort of first responder moment at their home or school or anywhere, this is an opportunity for them to softly connect with those first responders.
Yeah, their first interaction with law enforcement, or like you mentioned, fire or EMS, isn't in a crisis mode environment, and that's huge, obviously. And Scottville Fire's always been great, Life EMS, and also our guys bring some of our tools of the trade out, and kids can try on our SWAT vests, and they can play with the gear that our guys have, and so they get to interact. Our school resource officers will all be there in attendance as well, and it gives I know for us, it gives our deputies an opportunity to go out into the public, and they're having fun. They're not necessarily enforcing issues. They're out there, being seen in a positive light, and I know they go home with smiles on their faces from that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Sheriff Cole's also worked very hard with West Shore Community College and our future law enforcement officers, possibly, and getting them to attend the event. So our CTE program has a booth. Our criminal justice at the college does. really the importance of building those relationships and being involved in your community. So, a shout out to even future law enforcement and their participation here at this event.
Yeah, it's always a great event, and I'm sure you have a lot of repeat families that come out, and that's important as well. Not only us inviting those that haven't attended, but repeat is important too because information changes from year to year. Is that a fair assessment?
That is. And I think also making sure that people know you don't have to have just a school age child to attend. This is for grandparents who have interactions with their grandchildren. We have people that come from Kent County every year because they have grandchildren in our community. We have senior citizens that don't have necessarily family in the area, but they too can come and get resources. One of the resources we'll have for senior citizens is the Scottville Senior Center and also the Mason County Senior Services, which is supported by Susan Evans. So there's lots for all age levels, pre-K all the way through college and above.
You've hinted on some new features, new items of this year's family affair. And if you're just joining us, we're talking with Miss Angie and Sheriff Kim Cole for the next couple minutes. But before we wrap up, there's always some new additions. There's always some new features. Even after 34 years, you kind of are able to invent something of a interaction or activity at this event. What have we missed talking about this morning that we can be excited about for the event tomorrow?
I think a couple things I want to mention is we always have to have a grand sponsor. And this year's grand sponsor is West Shore Bank. They are actually underwriting it this year and into the future. So that is really exciting that sponsor is now local from the community. So a shout out to them, and also a shout out to Mission Graphics, who has done a lot of our marketing and signs. So that really allows us to focus on those new booths and getting the word out. So just one of our new participants is Spectrum Community Services. We also have Filer Credit Union, and Gridiron Football is a couple new ones. And then our wonderful, standbys that always come. That was real popular last year. Every Soul Matters, which is a group of young men from the Langton area that collect shoes and socks. And so you have the opportunity to walk away with a brand new pair of shoes or gently used and socks. So they're back, very, very popular. And then another one that is just lined up, it would be John Merrick, the entertainer, with his balloon creations. I always worry about John. He's getting up there in age, but he gives it his all, and he ties those balloons all day long, and the kids love them. And then also we have tons of treats throughout the building that the businesses bring, such as Wesco will be here from Scottville giving out popcorn and sweet treats. I know there's lots of Chamore type snacks available this year. And we have a great goodie bag being given at the front desk also.
That's great. Well, and before we wrap up, let's talk about sort of the logistics side of things. It's at Mason County Central. It is you go through that main entrance, and you ask some questions of those that attend. It's not very difficult questions, but it's good information. Take us through that, Sheriff Cole, if you would. Why that takes place and how that can benefit that community member and that family.
Yeah, so there's a questionnaire we just ask people to fill out. It only takes them a second to do. They don't have to give any personal information, just where they're from. Are they a Mason County resident, Oceana Lake? Where are they coming from? And then Miss Angie can network further with those communities in case there's, if there's a big input from Lake County that maybe we didn't see in the year before. We can push some resources that way to help, or Oceana, or maybe we don't see a number come in from a certain area and we were, well, why weren't there many people from Oceana here this year? And we can network that way. But, just to follow up on some of the groups that come out, I'll tell you, West Shore Hockey is there. And the Road Commission, I really got a kick out of the Road Commission coming out, and showing them how the trucks operate. And it's just, there's so many opportunities, and it seems to grow every year. And we always say, hey, we're going to cap it at this amount this year. And then Miss Angie's like, you know what, we can squeeze 3 more groups in to make it work. And she always does.
Yeah. Yeah. So are you going to do it for another 10, 20 more years? What's the plan there? You're 34 years in. This has been a huge success for all of those years, obviously. What's the future of this event?
The future is Family Affair is not going away. We have a very diverse committee of young and some of us that are aging gracefully that are still on that committee, but really a great group that it will continue.
Well,
Yeah, we survived COVID, for Pete's sakes. We were outside and well, you were there, Chris. I mean, it's 35 degrees and raining, and we're handing out food bags to people in during COVID. So it's not going anywhere. This will be my last year as sheriff. It's bittersweet. I'll be heading off in another direction the end of the year, but I hope to still be active with it. I know my wife and I were talking this past week. My daughter and my wife are bringing my granddaughters out for the first time. They just relocated back to Michigan from Tennessee, so I will actually be able to hang out with my granddaughters at this event for a change. So that'll be cool.
that's great. That's great. Well, I want to ask in a moment if we've missed anything, but how about we take it just on the personal level for each of you for a moment? Out of those many years, what's your favorite moment of the family affair that jumps out at you? Miss Angie, we'll start with you, and maybe it's something that it has resonated with the community or family out there. What jumps out at you?
I think my favorite moment is actually Randy Lopez, and he's no longer with us. He was, had some special needs in his life, overcome a ton of barriers. But when he would get so excited and say, "This is better than Christmas," he truly believed that. We celebrated him right till the end of life. We recognized his family. I truly believe we made an impact with him. And for some folks, this is better than Christmas because they're walking off with 70 plus little goodie bags and they're interacting, tons of activities. And most of all, they're getting to spend this special time with their family. So that is very heartwarming to me.
Absolutely. Sheriff Cole?
Yeah, for me, like we mentioned COVID, we really struggled whether or not we were going to keep it going during COVID. And we did, and we did an outdoor drive-through. I thought that was really cool. I think those of us on the committee were able to really bond. When you're freezing cold and you can't feel your fingers, you tend to make pretty good friends. So that was cool. Luann Tyndall, she has been so outstanding. She brings her family in, and she struggled with some health issues, and even when she wasn't feeling so well a couple years, she still managed to come out and be engaged, and that just shows you a warrior's heart. And there's a lot of that going on, but those are just a couple for me.
Yeah, good information there. All right, I'll wrap it up with asking each of you, out of everything that we've talked about today, what have we missed? Miss Angie, what's something we can share with the community to encourage them to come out tomorrow?
I would just remind everybody, put a reminder in your phone, anything you need to do to get there tomorrow from 10 to 2, and just really celebrate the long winter we're coming out of, and something fun to do. And that is free for your family. The only cost is if you choose to have lunch, and Mason County Food Service has those prices really low. It is cash only. But once again, just put a reminder in your phone, or reminder anywhere you need to get out tomorrow, 10 to 2 at Mason County Central High School.
All right, Sheriff Cole, we'll leave the last word to you.
Yeah, I would just echo what Miss Angie said. Come out, leave a little early if it's going to be a little slippery out. Just plan accordingly, get there safe, have fun. And, it seems like when the parking lot is snow covered, it never fails somebody triple parks. So just kind of be cognizant that you don't squeeze somebody between some cars that can't get out. But come out, enjoy the day, have fun with us. And stop by the sheriff's booth, which usually should win, but we took it on the chin a couple of years. But anyway,
a lot of competition there. I hear Light is coming after you guys, and I hear Road Commission is coming after, and I even heard Spectrum Community Services is going to give you a run for your money.
Can't argue against those folks.
No, not at all. Well, it's a great event. It's 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. this Saturday, March 14th at Mason County Central. Go through the main entrance right there. You'll see the cafeteria behind the tables. Usually you set up the tables there for the welcome, and then you utilize both gymnasiums, right? To the left and to the right there, and then a lot of the schoolrooms too. Is that the plan again this year?
Correct. Our whole high school will have booths throughout it. So we really encourage you to not just stick in those gymnasium areas, get all the way around our high school. It's a square setup, and there's just lots of things throughout the entire building.
That's great. Well, we appreciate both of you, and we'll make sure that we promote this. We're talking about it on the air in our fridge magnet program still, and that'll continue to run throughout the day today and into tomorrow. And even with some of the nasty weather out there right now, that break is going to take place this Saturday, and that's the opportunity for those to go out to Mason County Central School for the community. The 34th annual Family Affair for the community. So thanks to both of you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
You got it. It is 102.7 Mom FM and Hot Country Hits 99.9. We'll break for news and weather. We'll get you caught up on the winter weather advisories. It's kind of split out there because a little bit worse in Manistee and above, but Mason County, Oceana County, Lake Newaygo getting hit right now. And we just got a couple more school closings. I saw the messages come in. Our team has posted that on our Facebook page. We'll update you on the air as well. So keep it locked right here. But we want to make sure that everybody stays safe. It is